In this video, we're going to be going over the best pets to use with the specific equipment combinations in Clash of Clans. But why do we need to know this, and why is it important? Because if you have a bad combination like the Spirit Fox and the Giant Gauntlet, you could nullify things like the damage reduction by using the invisibility, for example. By watching this video, you'll make sure that you don't make these mistakes and you get the most out of your heroes. Now, just so you guys know, I'm not going to be going through every combination of equipment and pets for each combination. That would take an hour. Instead, I'm going to do the most commonly used equipment combinations and the best combinations according to the guide that I made earlier. Now, first of all, there are two combinations that are predominant for the Barbarian King: the Giant Gauntlet and the Rage Vial combination, and the Giant Gauntlet and the Vamp Stash combination. Now, classically, the Phoenix has been used with the King, and I think it can be good in both the Giant Gauntlet combinations as well, even though it doesn't necessarily enhance any of the equipment abilities. Frosty is another interesting choice simply because of the defense slowdown. Now, I am hesitant on this because this might just be overkill when it comes to damage reduction from the Gauntlet. However, if the Vamp Stash is on too, it might be a good thing since you could get more heal, so definitely a good combo with the Vamp Stash. Now, when it comes to the Giant Gauntlet and the Rage Vial, a really good pet is the Poison Lizard. Let me explain. When you have the Rage Vial and the Giant Gauntlet both activated, you want the King to do as much damage as possible, but if the King gets distracted, this can be extremely hard to do and your ability can get wasted. The Poison Lizard can take care of distractions like the skeleton traps and the heroes really quickly, allowing the King to move on and to do his thing. So in summary, for the Giant Gauntlet and the Rage Vial, use either the Phoenix or the Poison Lizard. For the Giant Gauntlet and the Vamp Stash, use either the Phoenix or Frosty. But whatever you do, do not use the Spirit Fox on the King, since this will completely render the damage reduction from the Giant Gauntlet useless for some part of the attack. Diggy is also a poor combination because he's just gonna go after any target that the hero has, even if they are not defenses, so this isn't ideal. Now, moving on, let's talk about the Queen and the best equipment and pet synergy for her. Now, when it comes to the equipment combinations, I feel like the Invisibility Vial and the Healer Puppet is probably used most, followed by the Invisibility Vial and the Giant Arrow. The Giant Arrow and Healer Puppet has amazing synergy, but I don't think enough people have high enough levels on these equipment to use them over the Invisibility Vial yet. So assuming that you're using the Invisibility Vial, the classic Unicorn provides a really nice boost to the equipment, as it provides extra heal, especially when the Queen is invisible. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this is an absolutely necessary combination for Queen charges. However, when it comes to the smash attacks or air spam attacks where the Queen just has a DPS role, I think the Phoenix can also be a viable option, as it can tank for some traps and help the Queen last a little bit longer. This is especially true with the Healer Puppet, since you can get some extra heal even without the Unicorn. These are the best two pet combinations for the Queen given her current set of equipment. If you're wondering about the Spirit Fox, I think it's just better with another hero, and Frosty is a good option, but I think I'd take the Unicorn over Frosty any day. Next up, we have the easiest hero to work out, the Royal Champion. Now, the Royal Champion only has one set of equipment currently, and it has a pet that is arguably made to be used with the Royal Champion. If you are at any point not using the Spirit Fox with the Royal Champion, you're completely missing out on its potential, and this is the easiest combination to put together. The thing that is not easy to put together, however, are the combinations for the Grand Warden. All four pieces of Grand Warden equipment are really good to use, so I will be going through each one of them and giving you the best pets and the pets to avoid for each. Now, the first combination we have is the Eternal Tome and the Life Gem. This is the original Grand Warden event, so the pets that used to go with the Grand Warden work really well here. Primarily the Electro Owl for some nice DPS boost, the Poison Lizard for DPS and help against enemy heroes, and the Phoenix can also be used in this combination because if the Warden stays alive longer, you will get the passive boost from the Life Gem for a longer period of time. Now, if you're not using the Phoenix with the King and you're using this Warden equipment combination, I would highly recommend that you use the Phoenix here. Moving on to the Angry Warden combination, we have the Eternal Tome and the Rage Gem. This is interesting because I see a lot of pets that can actually be really useful here. Now, if you're doing a ground attack, the Poison Lizard is an extremely attractive option. Not only does it help with heroes in the center of the base, but it also has the highest DPS of all the pets in the game. This, on top of the rage effect that it gets, allows it to do a good chunk of damage. The Owl serves a similar purpose in air attacks, as it can dish out some extra damage, and this is super helpful, especially due to its chain effect and the increase from the rage each gem. The best part about the owl is how far back it is in an attack, so it rarely gets targeted, unlike the lizard. And if your king isn't using the phoenix, then the phoenix is also a decent option here because you can extend the timing of your rage. Saving the warden and getting that few extra seconds of rage might be crucial in an attack. However, the phoenix doesn't come out until after the warden goes down, and because of this, it doesn't benefit from the rage. Thus, I would recommend that you use the owl or the lizard instead. And on the note of Frosty, although the ability is useful throughout an attack, I don't think that the damage compares to the increase in damage we get from the other pets. Moving on to the last warden equipment combination, we have the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome. Now for this combination, the phoenix is actually rather useless, since keeping the warden alive for an extra bit of time actually does no good for you. You might think, well, the warden will stay alive longer, but the warden is gonna get a ton of heal from his Healing Tome by this point anyways. So what pets should you use then? The first option is Lassie, as this will allow you to lose all strong strategy insight. Realistically, the first two options are the owl and the poison lizard, for the same reasons as before. They can offer good DPS throughout the base, and the lizard can help with heroes. Frosty can also offer some good value since you're not really concerned about the potential DPS increase you could get this time around. Overall, I'd say the synergy with these three pets are pretty good, and you would use them based on the army that you're using. However, there is one thing that's probably confusing you guys a lot right now. Where is Diggy, and why didn't I mention putting Diggy on the warden? Diggy is an extremely powerful pet, and easily one of the best pets in the game currently. However, with the addition of the Spirit Fox, I feel that Diggy is in a really awkward place in the game right now. The issue is that Diggy attacks the target of the hero that it's paired alongside with, and because the warden can attack any building, this doesn't guarantee that we'll get a defensive stun effect. On top of this, it actually takes Diggy a long time to retarget compared to the lizard, for example, and this means that there is an even less chance that you get an effective stun from the next time it comes up. I'm not saying that Diggy isn't viable, but on paper it really doesn't look like the best combination for the warden, and we'll have to wait and see how some of these other combinations do. Now with all of that being said, I want to address a common question by all of you. Should you use specific pets or specific equipment if you don't have the max level for those equipment or pets yet? Now there isn't a one size fits all answer, but when it comes to pets, I generally say that you should use the optimal pets despite the levels that you have. This is because the main reason we're using pets is due to their abilities, and although some of these get a lot stronger every 5 levels like Frosty, others have effects that are constant like the owl. When it comes to equipment though, they're a different story. If you have a higher level piece of equipment from before the update, but then you have a level 1 equipment for the optimal choice, it's worth using the higher level equipment due to the passive boosts that you get. There's also a lot of equipment levels, so those little boosts scale up over time, leading to more of a discrepancy between the higher and the lower levels of equipment. However, as soon as your optimal equipment is at a similar level or at the same level as the equipment you already have, I would recommend that you replace it. Now if you don't have max pets yet, you can easily bypass that by using the hero potion after the new rework, but you can't really do that for equipment, and if you don't have high levels on those, well, you're kind of stuck. That's why you need to watch this video right here to find out the fastest ways to upgrade equipment in Clash of Clans.